Beekeeping is a gold mine. My name is Magembe. Welcome to GWC. As I go around, meet my friends and other people in the country, people ask me all kinds of questions about beekeeping. I want to start beekeeping. What can I do so that I can start or I can succeed? So in this video today, let's look at 8 steps that you can take to start successful beekeeping. And in case you're not subscribed to our channel, kindly go ahead and subscribe. The first step is that you need to educate yourself. You need to, before you start anything, you need to do enough research so that you can understand what is beekeeping. You need to understand the biology of the bees. You need to understand how the bees work, and you need to understand how beekeeping is, being conducted. So you need to educate yourself before you actually start this venture. It's either you're starting this as an hobby or as a business, but in this one we are talking about how can you succeed, if you do beekeeping as a business. So educating yourself, you can either attend, of course, a school, an institution where they are actually teaching about beekeeping. But what I recommend is that you can educate yourself online. You can use YouTube to actually look at a lot of the videos on beekeeping. Actually, even on our channel here, we have been discussing a lot about beekeeping. So there is a lot of good information on our channel about beekeeping. So you can educate yourself. You can go through different videos and you can see what we have discussed on beekeeping. There is a lot of videos on YouTube that you can educate yourself on beekeeping. So the first thing is to educate yourself before you start this venture. The second thing is that you need to determine the business structure. Are you going to do this as a solo proprietor, or are you going to do it as a limited company? You can be in a limited company just as the only shareholder, or you can get some other shareholders so that you can do this business together. Because I know where I used to work before, by the way, by profession, I'm an engineer, electrical engineer. Where I used to work, I had this guy I was working with, my fellow engineer, and we discussed about beekeeping and they started this business. For him, what he did is he looked for his friends and they formed a company. There are like 5 of them doing this business. They're putting resources together to actually do this business. So that is another model. You can be sole proprietor, or you can just set up a company and start this. So you need to understand the business structure that you want to use for this business. The third step is actually to determine the business model or the business plan. The business model, what I mean here, beekeeping has a lot of stuff that you need to understand. But you're going to need to determine exactly what you want to do. Do you want to do beekeeping so that you can harvest honey and sell honey? Do you want to sell wax, and some other bee products like venom, royal jelly? Or do you want to start beekeeping, but you be like a carpenter and you be selling hives? Or you be selling beekeeping equipment, like extractor, the hive tool, settling bucket, hives and all this kind of equipment. So there are people who do beekeeping, but mainly they are actually selling beekeeping equipment. So you're going to need to determine what kind of business model that you wanna follow. This is the third step. So the fourth step that we recommend is that you're going to need to know where you're going to get your capital. Any business you start, mostly, you need to have some kind of capital. So beekeeping, if you are starting this as a business, you would be requiring to have some capital. And what I tell people, of course, is you don't go in at once. You start slowly. You start slowly so that you can understand the business before you actually expand. But you require source of capital. And what I recommend to people is that already if you're having a job, it's good you keep your job. You start investing in this business. You can start with 3 hives, you go 5 hives, you go 10, 20 as you progress. and you can be setting some money aside from your job. Once you work, you put some money towards this business. All other people, what they do, if you don't have a job, you can talk to your family members, and they can give you money to start this business. All other people, what they do is that they take a loan. You have a nice business plan, you can take a loan from a bank or an lending institution, and you can start the beekeeping business. So you need to know where you're going to get the source of you're going to get your funds from to start this business. Another step, step number 5 that you need to look at is actually the apiary location. Uh, Beekeeping has to be done somewhere. You can do it, of course, on a building, on a farm. Usually, of course, you can even do it in the urban areas, but most people do it in rural areas. So you're gonna need to know the location of the apiary. And for example, here in Kenya, you can have apiaries all over the country. You can have apiary in Mombasa. You can have in Adelaide. You can have in of course, Kakamega. You can have an apiary in Kitui, or somewhere even in Turkana, here in Nairobi. You can have apiaries in different locations. And this is very important because one thing is that bees are very good. As we said, this is a gold mine, but at the same time, bees can be a danger to people and animals. So you're going to need to determine a location. And what we recommend is that yes, even if you have a lot of money, usually what we have determined is that per apiary, it's good that you have a maximum of about 50 hives, because we know that bees go a radius of 4 kilometers to look for nectar and water, and of course pollen. So in this, based on the research that we have done and the farming most people do, for example, in Western Kenya, if you're having too many hives at one location, that can be an issue. So we recommend a maximum of 50. So once you have put your 50 hives at one place, that apiary, and you want to expand, you just need to look for land somewhere else and set up another apiary there. And of course, a lot of people ask me, can I keep bees, where I stay? Yes, you can keep bees where you stay, so long as you make sure that they will not disturb your neighbors. Bees are actually very peaceful, so long as they're inside the hive. They don't cause any danger, and whenever you want to inspect or harvest, you can do this at night. By the following day, bees have usually come down, and it's fine. So you're gonna need to determine the apiary location. That's one of those things that one of those steps that you will need to take if you want to engage in this business. Another thing I've learned from experience is that you will require a workstation. This is like a building, whether you are doing this in the village or you're doing here in the city, you're gonna need space, a workspace. Because you see, one is that you're having all this equipment. You're having your hives, that's the brood, the supers, and you're having the equipment for processing honey. And you want to need space actually to process honey during harvesting. You need the space. So another thing you need to determine is that you will require to actually have a workstation space. So you would need a building where you keep your beekeeping equipment. So this is one of those things you need to think about. Do you have some space? You can either convert one of your rooms or one of your houses to actually become a workstation for your beekeeping business, but you will require some kind of building and space to actually do this business. Apart from where the hives are, but you require separate space for the operations. Another thing that you need to determine is the logistics. That is step number 7, logistics. One is that as you expand in this business, you need to be moving things around. You need to be buying hives. As you buy hives, you need to carry them to your apiary so that you can set them up to actually catch a swarm. And after that, of course, set it up at the apiary. So you're moving a lot of things around. Once you harvest honey, you need to transport your honey. For example, myself, usually when I harvest honey, from our few apiaries in Western Kenya. So once I've gone there, I've harvested honey. I need to transport that honey to the city, like here in Nairobi, so that I can be able to sell. And honey is very heavy. If you don't have a vehicle, it becomes a headache. It's hectic to actually do this business because as you expand, there's so many things that you need to move around. So you're gonna need to figure out the logistics. One of the things, even the logistics, actually, even as you sell honey to your clients, you're gonna need to figure out logistics. How do you deliver this honey to your clients? So this is one of those things that you're gonna need to figure out. And the last step, number 8, that you need to look at, it's actually sales and marketing. Yes, it's good. You can start this business, you succeed. You start getting honey, you start having wax, all these big products, but you're going to need to sell them. Of course, the market is large. The market is everywhere. The demand is very, very high of honey and all the big products. But still, you will need to do some sales and marketing. For example, as like what I did as I started this, that of course you need to start this with your family. You talk to your family members. You give them a sample, say, hey, test this honey. I see this, like, oh, this is great. They will go tell their friends and like that, and you move to your friends. And as you expand, then you start moving to the local shops and restaurants and supermarkets, and so you can do this, of course, by word of mouth. Physically going to these shops or supermarkets, or of course you tap to the online resource. You can be advertising yourself online and selling your big products online. So sales and marketing is one of those things that you need to look at if you want to succeed in this business. So you have seen these 8 steps. These are the steps that you need to take to start this business. This business is good. As I started when I started this video, I talked about this is a gold mine. This is a gold mine that has not been tapped. For example, here in Kenya, we haven't tapped this business. Beekeeping business is good. It's only that it needs time. It's a long-term venture. It's not something you start today and tomorrow you start making big money and you relax. No, it's a long-term business. So if you're interested, you're passionate, and you've been trying to look for something that you want to do, and you're a bit slow, I think I encourage you that look, jump in this business. If this is your passion, start the business. Look at it as a long-term business. You engage, you educate yourself, you know exactly what needs to be done. You talk to people who already been doing beekeeping. You can always reach me, ask me questions, and of course, we will direct you, we will guide you so that you can succeed. But it's a good business. So again, in case you're not subscribed to our channel, kindly subscribe, because on this channel we're already discussing beekeeping. We discuss coffee and some other investment ventures, and we are very optimistic that if we keep on doing this, we'll create our own systems so that we can have, we can create generational wealth. Thank you. We will see you in our next video.